What is up, everybody? Great J-Man Gaming here. So we just picked up the new Studio Series Soundwave Transformers the movie. Used to be Studio Series 86, but now it's Transformers the movie, which is cool. This Soundwave comes with Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage. So he comes with the 3 cassettes. This is a Legends class Transformer. So box art, you got Soundwave on the side. You got the from the movie picture description. Soundwave sends his cassette troops on a spy mission. So that's right at the beginning of the movie. I think he becomes like a lamppost or a light. Other box art on the side, just kind of landscape. I don't know why it has the Autobot symbol on it when he's a Decepticon, but whatever. So yeah, we're just going to unbox this guy and go through the transformation. Okay, so in the box, obviously he's all tethered up, so we're gonna have to cut him out of there. They've also replaced the like the tissue paper with an actual bag, which I suppose might be for QC reasons, so you can actually see. They can actually determine that they didn't miss anything in here. Probably scissors would have been smarter for this, but whatever. He's got all these accessories for the cassette guys as well as his batteries / weapons. So we'll just put those aside for now. We're going to get Soundwave out of here first, and then we'll get the cassettes. And then we'll get rid of this box. Okay, so Soundwave is free. Put him to the side for now. Take these cassettes out. Alright, welcome back. So we've got Soundwave out of the box just to give you a size comparison. Thundercracker is a Voyager class, so he is a little smaller than Soundwave, as you see. Soundwave is leader class like Megatron, but he's still quite a bit smaller than Megatron. So, you know, price point wise, it would have been nicer to see it at the Voyager class, but it is what it is. Probably because you get 3 cassettes with Soundwave, so they're kind of bumping up your price point to leader class. Anyways, let's get these 2 out of here. So, Soundwave, a couple of things around articulation before we get into the transformation. So, elbows, 90-degree bend, arms, full rotation. Hands are, well, they have some movement, but it's the entire hand, so he doesn't have finger articulation. Same thing on the other side. Head, obviously, because he's a flat top microcassette recorder, the head only has really swivel, some look, some up down. But I do like the mold of this character. It looks really good in robot form. As far as legs, you know, front full extension, back full extension. He can do full splits, 90-degree knee bend, etc. So the ankle tilt on this is crazy good. As well, because of the transformation, his feet swivel. He's actually very, very, very dynamically posable. So if you're into that, you know, this one is good for you. Let's do the transformation really quickly. I will say out of the box, this was a little stiff. The first time I transformed this was very, very awkwardly stiff, so you may have to work on this one. But after a few times, as you guys probably know if you have any Transformers, they do loosen up. So first off, you'll put the hands into his arms like so, hands to the sides, and then next you will, I'm actually kind of parts forming on the back for part of the cassettes, and I'll talk about that after. These flip up and back, backpack folds down, head goes down, fold the backpack in, and then you can put his, well, in this case his weapons, being his rocket pack and his missiles. But you slot those into the 5mm ports on his back. I do like his weapon, how this is not parts formed. It actually all pushes back into the weapon, which is pretty cool. If I can get it in there. Okay, and then this tabs into that. So we're done there. And then with the legs, you actually want to lift up the... You want to do a full rotation on this. So you rotate this around to the... Well, now you rotate his legs around to the front. And from the back side, you lift these tabs up and leave them open. You would lift these inner tabs and leave those open. And then the leg heels are actually going to fold down. You're going to spin the legs around and push them inside the leg cavity, like so. And then you're gonna want to close that up like this. So that closes and locks that in. From the front, I already pushed one in by accident, but you actually push like in his shin joints, I guess you'll call them. And then we're almost ready to fully make him into microcassette. The arms are on a butterfly joint, so these actually fold back like so. So you flatten them out and fold them back to kind of harness in the batteries and give a pegging point to the legs. The legs then rotate 90 degrees and flip up and then in. This part for me on initial transformation was super duper stiff. I really had to work it in there. Right now, pretty good actually. It's been kind of loosened up, I would say, by doing the transformation a couple times. And then there's those pegs on the back can be a little awkward to get in there. You can actually peg it in to give it some more stability. And then same thing with this one. This one went in easier for me. One thing you got to remember is to leave this tab open. If you close it, you'll have a big hollow see-through area on the microcassette recorder, so it has to slot in there open. And then there's a tab there to tab it in, and then you'll just want to tab the arm into the back like so, and then it all kind of comes together nicely. He looks good as a microcassette. There's a few hollow spots on there, but for the most part this is a pretty solid transformation. And then of course you can store his cassettes inside. So as far as the microcassettes, I think we'll start with Ravage. He is not the most convincing cassette, I don't think. And there's a lot of parts forming around these microcassettes, which is fine. I fully understand you can't really make a convincing microcassette without some parts forming, but there's a lot of niggly little parts here that you can lose, so just be careful when you take all that out of the bag, otherwise you're probably going to dump your parts everywhere and lose them. So Ravage, as I was saying, parts forming, plugs right into him from behind to transform him. You actually would flip the arms out. Flip the arms out. You then do a full rotation on his top body. His head is then formed from folding these two parts together, and there is his face, as you can see. And then you would fold these out and down, fold his leg forward, fold this out and down, leg comes forward a little bit, and then on his hindquarters you fold the back feet out, and then you fold his back legs down. And then what you do is this little L bracket tab goes right into this hole. You might not be able to see it above his back legs. So there we go, and then his tail. So my issue with this, I don't know if you can see on camera, but the color matching isn't great. It's kind of like a dark gray for the parts formed, I guess, butt missiles and tail, but it doesn't match the black of Ravage. He looks okay in bot form, but you know, to me this is merely okay because he doesn't look too convincing as microcassette, but it's Ravage. I've seen better ones than this. I think I do like the birds better, so this one is Buzzsaw, so we'll do him quick. You flip the wings up. You flip the feet up, or down, sorry. You rotate the wings down. You flip it over. You grab their beak if you have any fingernails, or just get something you can tab that out with and fold that forward. And then as far as the rocket pack, there's two little tabbies on there and two holes in his back. And then the rocket pack just plugs in there. So my issue with these is the sort of dull gray plastic color. As I recall from the OG ones, this was gold. Buzzsaw was gold, and I think Laserbeak was silver. So I was actually even considering like getting some modeling paint to like touch this up, paint that gold, and then maybe paint Buzzsaw silver. I'll transform Buzzsaw quickly as well. Or I'm sorry, Laserbeak. I confuse them. Sometimes the head can be a little bit difficult to get out. One thing you can do is with the 5mm port, you can rotate this and actually store it on the back of Soundwave in the 5mm ports if you want to, or you can just have them laying around. When you want to put them on the bird, you actually have to flatten that out. So again, you just tab these into the back of him like so. I just think this would have looked much, much better with some silver paint detailing instead of just dull gray. It doesn't really match. So I give that a pass, but a little disappointing. So there is Soundwave back into bot mode with his microcassettes. I mean, where would I rate this? I can't wholeheartedly give this like a 10. It's leader class. I find it a touch underwhelming for the price point. I find some of the detailing on the plastic, particularly the microcassettes with the dull gray plastic and the lack of color matching, a little disappointing. I'd give Ravage like a 6. We'll give the Birds like a 7. I'll give Soundwave like an 8. So you do you. If you determine this leader class figure is worth it to you, I do think it's worth picking up, especially if you don't have a Soundwave. It's probably worth having if you're a fan. He does look great in robot mode, as you see. I think this is very, very, very good. And I think I may try touching these up with like some modeling paint. Like get some black paint for this, get some silver and gold. And I think these would look a lot sharper in that case. Maybe a few touch-ups on Soundwave as well, like paint some parts of him silver. I know that might impact resale, but I'm going to do it anyway. Otherwise, yeah, check out Soundwave. If you feel like this is a figure for you, pick it out. From what I saw at the store, it's been heavily pre-ordered. So hopefully you can still grab one of these figs if you're into that. This has been Great J-Man Gaming. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews and Transformers figures. Take care.